Jesus was rich. He had everything he needed. He didn't need to ask for money. Did you ever hear him asking for money? Hello everyone, my name is Angel Sandoval. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new to my channel, I make these videos weekly in hopes that they encourage you. Guys, I want to really talk about an interesting story in Matthew chapter 17. Let's get into the word. It's talking about taxes. And the interesting thing about this is, and there's a lot that I'm going to extract from this story, in this short story, but let's just get right into it. In Matthew chapter 17, verse 24, after Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma tax came to Peter and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay taxes for the temple?" "Yes, he does," Peter replied. When Peter came to the house, Jesus was the first to speak, like he already knew what was going to go down. "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. "From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty taxes? From their own sons or from others?" "From others," Peter answered. "Then the sons are exempt," Jesus said to him. "But so that we may not offend them, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give to them for my tax and yours." For my tax and yours. So he had Peter covered. Now, a lot of people get the story about Jesus talking about it's easier for the rich man to enter the eye of a needle than to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And I think a lot of people get that story mixed up because Jesus was rich. He had everything he needed. He didn't need to ask for money. Did you ever hear him asking for money? Did you ever hear Jesus begging? Instead, he paid his taxes, but he always had more than what he needed. But his focus wasn't on earthly things. It was on heavenly things. It was on people. He cared more about souls than he did money. But he never needed money. Why? Because he had it all. The proof is right here. Taxes needed to be paid. No one knew where it was going to come from. Go get a fish. First fish you catch, guess what? It's going to pay yours and mine. So let's talk about needs. Jesus, the Lord, the Holy Spirit, Father in heaven, has your needs met before you even know. I know there's a lot of things to worry about. You got bills to pay. You don't know where your next dollar is going to come from for some of you. And some of you are doing really well. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about. Envy. You know, you have friends out there that are doing really well. I have friends, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire friends, more than one. And there's times that I catch myself going, Lord, I'm not jealous or anything, but they're doing really, really well. And I'm not trying to put my business out there, but sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I'm living check to check. Why them and not me? It's not about that. It's about you have your own lane. They have their lane, you have your lane, and there's a reason why you're where you are right now. And you just have to trust the Lord in every aspect of your lane, in your life. Because at the end of the day, we're all meeting up in the kingdom of heaven, and you have this dash, your birthday and your death date. And that dash in between that they're going to talk about once you're not here anymore to your family and your loved ones is going to represent who you were, your legacy as a person. And you want to make sure that you're in your lane for that legacy, because there's many people you're going to touch. There's many people that you're going to experience. There's many people you're going to help. There's many people that are going to help you. Your lane is your life. And that is something that you really have to keep your focus on, stay in your lane, and stick with the Lord. And then finally, what I gathered from this story is, yes, he paid taxes. He obeyed the earthly laws. He did what he had to do to respect others. So you want to respect the authority. If you're at work or you're having struggles with the supervisor, pray about it, but also respect the authorities, respect those that are put in charge. In other words, this sounds cliche, but what would Jesus do? Does everybody remember that? The WWJD, what would Jesus do? Like, what would he really do? Follow him, mirror him. You're his ambassadors on this earth. And again, we're not here to gain earthly riches, but the Lord doesn't want you to starve either. The Lord's not mad if you have a multi-million-dollar house. The Lord's not mad if you're driving a fancy car. You know, people are going to be jealous. People are going to look at others that are really excelling, and there's where the envy component comes in. So you got to stay in your lane. But if the Lord blesses you, if you win the lottery tomorrow and He opens that door for you, you got to really ask the Lord to give you wisdom how to manage your earthly possessions. Remember this, one day those possessions will be someone else's. One day that house you're living in will not be yours anymore. Once you leave this earth and your kids are gone, and we're talking 100 years from now, that home you're living in, that's going to be somebody else's. That car that you're driving, that fancy car, probably going to be junk in a few years. Look at all the old cars, 1980, 1990 cars. What I'm getting at is possessions are cool to have while you're here. Bless others while you have it, if you have it, the means. And the goal is in this life to meet your finish line. As Paul said, I've run my race. I've done what I've done. I have no regrets. The way to not have regrets, follow the Lord. Listen to His word. Follow His kingdom righteousness. And you're going to be okay. Trust in the Lord always. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. I love you. God bless you. Have a super blessed day. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below and clicking the bell icon for future messages.